The bridge of the research vessel Horizon hummed with a quiet tension that only deep space explorers would recognize. Soft blue lights from various control panels cast a pale glow on the faces of the crew, each member focused intently on their station. Captain David Roberts stood at the center, his weathered hands clasped behind his back, eyes fixed on the main view screen that displayed an endless canvas of stars. It was supposed to be a routine deep space research mission. The Horizon had been mapping unexplored regions of the Orion Arm, collecting data on stellar formations and searching for potential exoplanets. No one expected anything extraordinary to happen on this particular shift. Then came the transmission. At first, it was nothing more than a burst of static, a garbled, barely distinguishable noise that would have gone unnoticed by less experienced crews. But Mike Turner, the communications specialist, knew something was different. His fingers danced across the control panel, isolating and filtering the signal with practiced precision. "Captain," Mike called out, his voice cutting through the bridge's ambient sounds, "we're receiving a transmission. It's unusual." Roberts approached the communication station, his eyebrows furrowing. The signal was unlike anything they had encountered before. Fragments of language mixed with technical sounds, punctuated by what seemed like desperate bursts of communication. "Can you clean it up?" Roberts asked, leaning closer to the screen. Mike worked furiously, applying multiple filters and enhancement protocols. Slowly, the chaotic noise began to take shape. Words emerged, or at least something resembling words. They were alien, definitely not from any human language, but the tone was unmistakable. Distress, failure, help. The bridge fell silent. Every crew member turned their attention to the communication station, their previous tasks forgotten. The implications were extraordinary. This was no ordinary radio interference or random space noise. This was a cry for help from something, or someone, beyond human space. "Run a full diagnostic," Roberts commanded. "I want to know everything about this transmission." Dr. Elena Rodriguez, the ship's lead xenolinguist, stepped forward. Her eyes were wide with a mixture of excitement and professional caution. "The signal suggests a multi-species communication network," she explained. "Whatever is sending this message represents more than one civilization." Roberts nodded, his mind racing through potential scenarios. First contact situations were delicate. Humanity had explored vast stretches of space, but they had never encountered a civilization in such a state of desperate communication. "How far?" he asked. Mike consulted his instruments. "Distance is extreme, Captain. We're talking about a region well beyond our standard exploration range. The signal's origin is approximately 3.2 million light-years from our current position." The bridge crew exchanged glances. Such a distance was nearly impossible to traverse with current human technology. The energy requirements alone would be astronomical. "Estimated condition of the signal source," Roberts pressed. Dr. Rodriguez interpreted the fragmented data. "Multiple ship systems failing. Life support critically low. Some kind of collective expedition that's gone terribly wrong." The weight of the moment settled on the bridge. To attempt a rescue would mean redirecting their entire mission, consuming months of resources, and venturing into completely unknown territory. The risks were immense. They had no guarantee of what they might find, or if anyone would still be alive when they arrived. Roberts walked back to the center of the bridge, his decision weighing heavily. This was more than a scientific mission now. This was about potential first contact. This was about the possibility of saving lives from an alien civilization humanity had never even known existed. "Prepare a detailed analysis," he finally said, "and get me a full mission assessment. We're going to discuss this rescue option thoroughly." The bridge erupted into a controlled flurry of activity. Screens flickered with complex calculations, star charts shifted, and communication logs were reviewed. Something extraordinary was about to begin, a journey that would change humanity's understanding of its place in the universe forever. 2 weeks after receiving the mysterious distress signal, the Horizon prepared for its most ambitious journey yet. Two additional support vessels flanked the research ship, the heavily equipped Tactical Support Ship Defender and the medical research vessel Nightingale. Together, they formed a small but determined human fleet, ready to venture into the deepest, most unexplored regions of space. Captain Roberts stood in the mission planning room, surrounded by holographic star charts and data projections. The walls were covered with complex calculations, potential threat scenarios, and survival strategies. Every crew member knew this was no ordinary mission. They were about to attempt something that had never been done before, a rescue mission across millions of light years. "We're pushing the limits of everything we know," Dr. Rodriguez explained to a group of junior officers. She pointed to a complex holographic model showing the estimated path. "Our fusion drives will need to operate at 300% their standard efficiency. We're talking about technological improvisation on a scale never attempted before." Mike Turner worked tirelessly on communication systems, developing advanced signal enhancement protocols. The original transmission had been barely comprehensible, and they needed to be prepared for any type of communication when they reached their destination. The ship's chief engineer, Alex Harper, was a marvel of human determination. She had redesigned the Horizon's power systems, creating redundancies and backup methods that would make the impossible journey feasible. Her team worked around the clock, running simulations and testing every possible scenario. Psychological preparation was just as crucial as technical readiness. Dr. James Wilson, the ship's lead psychologist, conducted intensive training sessions. The crew needed to be prepared for potential first contact, possible hostile encounters, and the psychological strain of a mission that could last months or even years. "We might be the first humans to make contact with an entirely new civilization," Wilson told the assembled crew. "Everything we do will be a first. Our actions will represent all of humanity." The ship's cargo holds were packed with an unprecedented collection of resources, medical supplies designed to work with potentially unknown biological systems, communication devices capable of translating unknown languages, repair equipment that could be adapted to multiple technological frameworks. Every item was carefully chosen, every possibility considered. As they prepared to engage the long-range drives, a sense of nervous excitement filled the horizon. The bridge became a symphony of controlled activity. Screens flickered with data, computers ran endless calculations, and each crew member knew they were part of something historic. "Final systems check," Captain Roberts announced, his voice steady and calm. One by one, each station reported in. Life support, optimal. Communication systems, ready. Navigation, plotted and confirmed. Weapons and defense systems, fully operational. Medical bay, prepared for any scenario. The moment of departure approached. The three ships would need to move in perfect synchronization, their drives working in ways they had never been designed to work. It was a testament to human engineering, taking equipment to its absolute limits and beyond. Engaging long-range drive in 3, 2, 1. Mike Turner's voice cut through the tension. A low hum began to build. The ship's internal gravity shifted slightly. Outside the view screens, space seemed to ripple and bend. The stars stretched into long, brilliant lines as the horizon began its impossible journey. Dr. Rodriguez watched the star charts with scientific precision. "The signal's origin is so far beyond our current exploration range that we're essentially flying blind," she muttered, more to herself than to anyone else. Days turned into weeks. The crew settled into a carefully maintained routine. Training continued. Simulations ran constantly. They studied every scrap of information from the original transmission, trying to understand more about the civilization they were attempting to rescue. No one knew exactly what they would find, but everyone on board understood one thing. They were pushing the boundaries of human capability. They were showing that humanity's greatest strength was not its technology, but its willingness to help, even in the face of the unknown. The journey had begun. Millions of light years stretched before them, holding secrets no human had ever seen before. The vast emptiness of space slowly gave way to an impossible sight. Hundreds of alien ships drifted like wounded creatures, their metallic surfaces scared and dark. The horizon's view screens filled with a scene of total devastation, a graveyard of technological marvel suspended in the infinite blackness. "My God," whispered Mike Turner, his hand hovering over the communication controls. Captain Roberts stood motionless, taking in the magnitude of what they were seeing. The alien fleet was massive, far larger than any human expedition had ever encountered. Some ships were enormous, easily dwarfing the horizon by several times. Others were smaller, clustered together in what seemed like defensive formations, now powerless and silent. Dr. Elena Rodriguez began scanning the fleet, her instruments working overtime. "Multiple ship designs," she reported, her voice a mix of scientific excitement and genuine concern. "At least 3 distinct technological frameworks. This isn't just one civilization. It's a coalition of different species." The medical officer, Dr. James Wilson, studied the life sign readings. "We're detecting minimal life signs," he said grimly. "Whatever happened here, it happened recently. But there are survivors. Not many, but some." Alex Harper, the chief engineer, worked frantically at her station. "Their power systems are completely drained. I'm seeing signs of multiple system failures, not from combat, but from some kind of total technological collapse." Captain Roberts made a quick decision. "Prepare initial contact protocols. We need to approach carefully." The horizon moved slowly between the massive alien vessels. Every movement was calculated, every approach designed to appear non-threatening. The support ships Defender and Nightingale maintained a protective formation around the research vessel. "We're being scanned," Mike Turner announced suddenly. "Multiple low-power sensors are trying to get a reading on us." Dr. Rodriguez leaned in. "They're aware of our presence, but they seem confused, almost like they can't believe we're real." A sudden burst of communication broke through the ship's systems. It was fragmented, chaotic, a mixture of sounds that seemed more like desperate gasps than a coherent message. The ship's translation systems worked overtime, trying to make sense of the alien communication. "Help," came a broken translation. "Survive. Last. Hope." The bridge fell silent. This was no longer just a rescue mission. This was a moment that would define humanity's first true contact with an interstellar civilization. Captain Roberts took a deep breath. "Prepare the first contact team," he commanded. "We're going to board one of those ships." The preparation was meticulous. Special suits designed to protect against unknown atmospheric conditions. Communication devices capable of multiple translation protocols. Medical equipment that could adapt to unknown biological systems. Dr. Wilson led the first contact team. 4 carefully selected crew members, each with specific skills: linguistic adaptation, medical response, technical analysis, and security. They would be the first humans to potentially save an entire coalition of alien civilizations. As the boarding shuttle detached from the horizon, tension filled both the shuttle and the main ship's bridge. The small craft moved gracefully between the massive, dark alien vessels, searching for the most stable entry point. "We're detecting a pressurized section on the 3rd large vessel," Mike Turner reported. "Structural integrity seems the most stable there." The shuttle's lights illuminated the alien ship's surface. Intricate designs covered the metal, patterns that seemed to blend technology and art in ways humans had never conceived. Damage was everywhere, but so was an underlying beauty that spoke of advanced civilization. "Preparing to dock," the shuttle pilot announced. In that moment, humanity stood on the precipice of its greatest adventure. A rescue mission that had started with a desperate radio signal was about to become something much more, a moment that would change everything humans understood about their place in the universe. The airlock began to align. First contact was moments away. The first moments inside the alien ship were surreal. Dr. James Wilson led the team, his specialized environmental suit creating a protective bubble around him. Strange, organic-looking corridors stretched before them, a mix of technology and what seemed almost like living architecture. "Life signs are weak but present," he whispered into his communication link. The ship's internal systems were barely functioning, with only emergency lighting casting a dim, ghostly glow across alien surfaces. Alex Harper, the chief engineer, was already scanning the ship's technological infrastructure. "This is beyond anything we've ever seen," she muttered, her fingers moving rapidly across her handheld diagnostic tool. "Their technology is simultaneously more advanced and more fragile than ours." The first alien they encountered was barely alive. Lying in what appeared to be a medical chamber, the creature looked nothing like humans had imagined. Multiple limb-like appendages, a body structure that seemed to shift and breathe differently from any Earth-based life form. Its skin, or perhaps external covering, was a complex pattern of iridescent colors that seemed to change with each labored breath. Dr. Wilson worked quickly. Human medical technology was about to face its greatest challenge. The aliens' biological systems were completely different from anything in human medical databases, but where previous explorers might have hesitated, this team saw only a life to be saved. "Preparing emergency medical intervention," he reported back to the horizon. "Adaptive nano-support systems ready." Back on the horizon, Captain Roberts watched the live feed with intense concentration. The rescue was more than a mission now. It was a testament to human capability and compassion. Alex Harper's voice cut through the tension. "I'm accessing their primary systems," she reported. "Their power generation technology is incredible, but it's also what caused their collapse. They were pushing their energy systems beyond safe limits." Hours turned into days. The human rescue team worked tirelessly. They moved from ship to ship, stabilizing life support systems, repairing critical infrastructure, and providing medical support to survivors from multiple alien species. Mike Turner made a breakthrough in communication. By combining human translation technology with fragments of the aliens' communication systems, he began to piece together their story. It was a tale of an ambitious joint expedition, 3 different species working together to explore uncharted regions of space. "Something went wrong with their experimental energy drive," he explained to Captain Roberts. "It caused a cascading system failure that affected their entire fleet." The medical bay of the Nightingale became a marvel of improvisation. Dr. Wilson and his team developed adaptive medical protocols on the fly. Nano-support systems were reconfigured. Medical equipment was modified. What seemed impossible became routine. "We're bringing them back from the brink," Dr. Wilson reported during one of the briefings. "Each species requires a different approach, but the fundamental principle remains the same: preservation of life." Alex Harper's engineering team worked miracles. They rebuilt power systems, created hybrid technological solutions that merged human and alien technologies. Ships that were moments away from becoming permanent space tombs began to show signs of life. Captain Roberts watched as the first alien ship slowly powered up under human guidance. Its systems, once dark and lifeless, now hummed with restored energy. It was more than a technical achievement. It was a statement about human potential. On the 6th day of the rescue operation, the first alien representatives regained full consciousness. They looked at their human rescuers with what could only be described as a mixture of confusion, gratitude, and wonder. Mike Turner prepared for the first real communication. The translation systems were ready. Protocols were in place. But nothing could fully prepare them for this moment. The first true conversation between humanity and an entirely new set of civilizations. "We are here to help," would be the first word spoken. The rescue was more than a mission. It was a beginning. The medical bay of the horizon had become something extraordinary. What was once a standard human research vessel now served as a bridge between civilizations. 3 distinct alien species sat in carefully modified spaces, each adapted to their unique physiological requirements. Dr. Elena Rodriguez led the cultural exchange efforts. Her years of xenolinguistic research had prepared her for this moment. but nothing could fully prepare anyone for actual first contact. The aliens were a fascinating trio. One species resembled intricate, living crystals that communicated through subtle light patterns. Another appeared almost plant-like, with complex neural networks visible beneath a translucent exterior. The third was most surprising, a silicon-based life form that seemed to shift and reconfigure its body structure constantly. Our expedition was meant to explore the unknown regions of the galactic rim, explained Krell, the representative of the crystal-like species. Their communication came through a complex translation device that Mike Turner had developed, converting light patterns and electromagnetic pulses into understandable language. Captain Roberts listened intently. The story that emerged was both tragic and remarkable. 3 different species had formed an unprecedented alliance, pooling their technological and scientific resources for a massive exploratory mission. Their goal was to map uncharted space, to understand the deepest mysteries of their galactic neighborhood. We had never collaborated at this scale before, Krell continued. The translation device captured not just words, but nuanced emotional undertones. Our cultures had always been separate. This mission was to be our greatest achievement. Alex Harper found herself fascinated by their technological approaches. During technical discussions, she discovered that each species had developed unique solutions to similar technological challenges. The crystal species had energy generation techniques that were decades ahead of human understanding. The plant-like beings had developed biological computing systems that blurred the line between living organism and machine. Your ability to adapt is remarkable, one of the silicon-based beings commented to Dr. Wilson. Most species would have abandoned us. You risked everything to save strangers. The medical team's efforts had saved more than just individual lives. They had preserved entire cultural and technological archives. Each alien ship carried the collective knowledge of its civilization, scientific research, cultural histories, technological blueprints. Mike Turner worked tirelessly on communication systems. What had started as a desperate translation effort had become a profound cultural exchange. The aliens shared stories of their homeworlds, their evolutionary paths, their understanding of the universe. Dr. Rodriguez documented everything. This was more than a first contact scenario. It was an unprecedented opportunity to understand entirely new forms of intelligence and civilization. We have so much to learn from each other, Captain Roberts observed during one of the exchange sessions. The bridge of the horizon had become a conference room, a scientific laboratory, and a diplomatic center all at once. The aliens were equally fascinated by humans. They studied human technology, human problem-solving approaches, and most importantly, the human capacity for compassion. The rescue mission had been more than a technical achievement. It was a demonstration of a fundamental approach to existence. Your species does not calculate risk in the same way we do, the plant-like being observed. You chose to help without guaranteed benefit. This is unusual in our experience of galactic civilizations. Days turned into weeks. The initial rescue mission transformed into something much more profound. Scientific exchanges happened constantly. Medical teams shared knowledge. Engineers compared technological approaches. Linguists worked on creating more comprehensive translation methods. As the Horizon continued its journey with the rescued alien fleet, something remarkable was happening. 3 different species and humanity were learning to understand each other. The boundaries between us and them were slowly disappearing. This is more than a rescue, Dr. Rodriguez wrote in her personal log. This is the beginning of something entirely new. The universe, it seemed, was about to change forever. The first warning came quietly, a subtle change in the background radiation that most sensors would have missed. Mike Turner caught it first, his fingers flying across the communication panel with practiced speed. "Captain," he called out, his voice tense, "we're detecting an anomalous energy signature approaching from the galactic rim." Captain Roberts was at his side instantly. The bridge of the horizon transformed from a place of scientific exploration to a combat-ready command center in seconds. The rescued alien fleet, still recovering from their previous disaster, looked vulnerable. Dr. Elena Rodriguez analyzed the incoming data. "This is different," she muttered. "Not a natural phenomenon. Something is hunting us." The alien representatives gathered on the bridge, their previous cultural differences forgotten in the face of a common threat. Krell, the crystal-like being, projected a holographic map showing the approaching energy signature. "The Void Predators," the alien translator explained. "We had hoped they were just a legend." Alex Harper studied the incoming data. The approaching force was unlike anything humans had encountered. It moved with a calculated precision that suggested more than simple technological advancement. This was a hunting force, something that tracked and consumed other civilizations. "They feed on technological systems," Krell explained. "They don't just attack. They consume entire technological infrastructures, breaking down advanced civilizations into raw energy." Captain Roberts assessed their options quickly. The human fleet was small: the Horizon, the Defender, and the Nightingale. The alien fleet, while massive, was still recovering from their previous system failure. "Prepare defensive protocols," Roberts commanded. "We're not going down without a fight." The Void Predators appeared first as a distortion in space, a dark, consuming energy that seemed to eat light itself. Sensors went crazy. Communication systems crackled with interference. The very fabric of space seemed to bend around the approaching threat. Mike Turner worked frantically on communication systems. "They're broadcasting something," he reported. "But it's not a language. It's more like a technological infection." The first attack came suddenly. A wave of energy that could disable entire ship systems in moments. The Defender took the first hit, its advanced human shields barely holding against the assault. "Combine our shield technologies," Roberts ordered, working with the alien fleet commanders. "We need to create a unified defense system." What followed was a demonstration of human adaptability that would become legendary. Alex Harper and the engineering teams from both human and alien ships worked in real time, creating hybrid defense systems that could counter the Void Predators' attack methods. The battle was unlike any traditional space conflict. It was a war of technological adaptation. Each time the Void Predators found a way to penetrate their defenses, the combined human-alien fleet would develop a countermeasure. Dr. Rodriguez discovered something crucial. The Void Predators worked on a principle of technological consumption. They targeted the most advanced systems first. By deliberately introducing technological imperfections and adaptive chaos, they could confuse the attacking force. "They can't predict what they can't understand," she explained during a critical moment of the battle. The Defender took heavy damage. The Nightingale worked overtime, its medical and repair systems pushed to the absolute limit. But the human-alien fleet held together, each species contributing its unique technological approach. Krell's crystal-based communication systems provided early warning signals. The plant-like beings contributed biological computing solutions that could rapidly adapt. The silicon-based life forms offered complex defensive algorithms. Humans provided the most critical element, an unwavering determination to survive and protect. Hours turned into what felt like an eternity. The space around them became a battlefield of energy weapons, adaptive shields, and technological innovation. The Void Predators had never encountered a force that could adapt so quickly, that could combine technologies from multiple species with such speed and creativity. As the final wave of attack approached, Captain Roberts knew one thing with absolute certainty: they would not be defeated. The universe was about to witness something extraordinary. The aftermath of the battle was unlike anything humans or their alien allies had ever experienced. Where destruction might have been expected, something extraordinary emerged. The space around them was scared but not broken, a testament to the combined strength of their unexpected alliance. Captain David Roberts stood on the bridge of the Horizon, surrounded by representatives from 3 alien species and his own crew. The victory against the Void Predators had changed everything. "We did something impossible," Dr. Elena Rodriguez remarked, her eyes scanning the data from the final confrontation. We united multiple species against a threat neither of us could have defeated alone. Krill, the crystal-like being, projected a holographic representation of their combined technological achievement. The display showed how human adaptability, alien technological diversity, and collective determination had created a defense system unlike anything in known galactic history. Mike Turner worked on developing a permanent communication protocol. What had started as a desperate translation effort had become a sophisticated multi-species communication network. Each species contributed its unique communication approach: human digital systems, crystal light-based communication, biological neural networks. The medical team, led by Dr. James Wilson, had achieved something equally remarkable. They had developed medical protocols that could support multiple alien physiologies. What seemed impossible weeks ago was now a standard procedure. Alex Harper and her engineering team had become legendary. Their ability to combine technologies from multiple species had not just saved the fleet. They had created an entirely new approach to technological development. "Your species sees problems differently," one of the silicon-based beings explained. "Where others would see limitations, you see opportunities for collaboration." The rescued alien fleet was no longer just a collection of damaged ships. It had become something new, a united group that represented the best of multiple civilizations. Each species had contributed something unique to their survival. During a formal ceremony aboard the Horizon, a galactic alliance was formed. It wasn't just a diplomatic agreement. It was a fundamental reimagining of how different species could work together. "We offer you full technological and scientific partnership," Krell announced. The translation systems captured not just words, but the profound emotional weight behind them. Your rescue was more than a mission. It was a demonstration of a fundamental approach to existence. Captain Roberts understood the significance of the moment. This was more than a first contact scenario. This was the beginning of something much larger, a new way of understanding the universe. The technological exchanges began immediately. The aliens shared advanced energy generation techniques. Humans contributed their adaptive problem-solving approaches. Each species brought its unique perspective to the table. Dr. Rodriguez documented everything. This alliance would change the understanding of galactic civilizations forever. Humans had proven themselves not as conquerors, but as partners. Not as a threat, but as a civilization capable of extraordinary compassion and innovation. "We're not just exploring space anymore," Captain Roberts told his crew during a final briefing. "We're building bridges between civilizations." The Horizon prepared for its journey back to human space, but it would not be the same ship that had left on a routine research mission months ago. It carried with it the hopes of multiple species, the knowledge of an unprecedented rescue, and the promise of a new galactic future. Mike Turner made the final communication log entry. "First contact successful," he reported. "More than successful, transformative." As they began their journey home, the rescued alien fleet flanked the Horizon. Where there had once been strangers, there was now understanding. Where there had been potential conflict, there was now cooperation. The universe had changed, and humanity had played a crucial role in that change. In the vast darkness of space, a new chapter of galactic history had begun.